because today I get to interview two of my favorite people, Shemaiah and Jamal Jones, the couple of the year. They've been married for 3 years, and let me tell you something. I watch them, like I literally like study them. They are absolutely amazing and they're real. They met, Jamal will tell you a little bit about it, but they met through social media. So for those of you guys who think that you can't find your boo, your baby daddy, your future husband, your future wife on social media, you wrong, okay? So they'll tell you all about the story, but I love them because they're so authentic. They're gonna tell you the tips, the tricks, the dips, the how to keep your marriage alive, how to keep love alive, but most importantly, how to stay committed. So please, in your home, in your seat, wherever you are at, please give it up for Shemaiah and Jamal Jones. I am so excited because I got the Joneses. Hey! Hey! You guys decided to grace the Just Whitley stage, and I love you guys. I love you more. You guys look amazing.
Thank you.
Who picked out this outfit? It's like, okay.
She did.
All right, of course she did. Of course she did. Well,
yes.
I gotta get right to it because I've been meaning to ask, and I just found this out, like us kind of talking, and I did not know that when you guys met, you met through social media?
Social media, yes.
Okay, so Jamal hit the DM.
Hopped in the DM.
Hopped in the DM, right? Hopped in the DM, so talk to me a little about what's going through your mind, why are you doing the DM, like, what's good?
Yeah, so at the time, it was 2008, and I saw her picture on the side of people you may know. She had like 25 mutual friends. I assume she's got to go to Cal State San Bernardino, which is the college that I went to.
Yeah.
And I was trying to recruit her to join my gospel choir. And I got in her DMs and I said, hey, you look like you could sing. Why don't you come join my choir? I bet you're an alto. And you can see somebody, you can tell soprano, alto.
I was about to say, is that a compliment? Like, I bet you're an alto?
It's not really a compliment. Okay. It's just kind of, I saw her on the right side of me directly.
Okay. So I was like, does that mean she got a deep voice? Like, I can tell you're an alto, girl.
Right.
No, I just saw her on the right side.
Okay.
When I'm directing the choir, and I just saw me looking at her.
On the right side,
right?
Because she was the right one.
Right.
Come on.
See.
Okay.
Did I do it?
Yes.
I took it. Okay.
So at that time, when I messaged her, she said, no, I'm not available. I don't go to Cal State San Bernardino. I still sent her a referral request, and she accepted it.
Okay.
So I asked her out on a date. She said no, and we were just friends. And at that point, I was okay. She's kind of cool, but she's still pushing me off. I asked her to Olive Garden. She said no.
When he said Olive Garden, were you impressed? Like, what were you thinking when he was even in your DM?
I think I was just kind of like, to be honest.
Here's another guy in my DM.
You had a lot of DMs.
So I didn't see, any interest at the time. I was just like, oh, okay, hi, how you doing? Being nice.
So it wasn't love at first sight?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
There was a few turndowns.
It was.
It was about 4 years.
Yeah.
He asked. He kept asking. He was
Oh, it's been
persistent.
4 years.
Yeah. So.
Did you know that she was your wife?
I had no idea.
Okay.
No idea.
Okay.
So then she came to my gig in 2012 at the Jazz Cafe in Ontario. And that was the very first time that I met her. So we've been friends on social media for 4 years. 4 years on and off. I'm trying to get at her. And she finally came, and the rest is history.
Okay. So this is the thing. How did you guys really start to begin to know that you were right for each other? Did it take like some hit and misses here and there? Like, what was that progression like before you knew we're supposed to be together?
I think it was during the times when we were dating, during the dating period. I know for me, it was during the time where we had a breakup. And
y'all broke up?
Oh yeah.
How many times?
Several, yes, several. But we had one huge break. Oh, several as in, maybe I think like 3 times. 2 or 3 times.
2.
But
Two
okay,
times.
so the third time was the huge breakup.
Okay.
So that was when I knew, like,
That he was.
oddly enough, during the time we were broken up, I knew he was my husband.
And what was happening that made you say Jamal is it?
My prayers started to shift. So instead of, Lord, I want to be married, I want this relationship to work, it shifted to, Lord, protect him. Lord, keep him. Lord, guide him. Whoever he's dating right now, allow her to pour into him. Like, I was praying crazy prayers. Like, I couldn't stand him at the time. I was upset with him. Like, how can you do this to me? And God started to shift my prayers. And my prayers started to become more for him. And in that time, I knew God was preparing me to be a wife. Because that meant I needed to be on my face for my husband. That meant I needed to cover him. I needed to cover my home. It was like he was preparing me during that time. So I knew, this is my husband.
So during your break, what's going through your head? Because she kind of mentioned dating someone. What was going on?
Well,
It's Just Whitley here.
Right.
yeah. So that was 2014.
He always has dates.
I do. And it was, so every Christmas Eve, I'm at my grandparents' house.
Okay.
And during that time, my grandfather, he said, "Where's your friend?" So I said, "Well, she couldn't make it this year, Grandpa." So, and when I tell you, he completely changed the way that I think about relationships. He said, "Jamal, people don't fight for their relationships anymore." My grandmother and my grandfather were married for 62 years. And I would always ask him, what's your secret? You know, how did you guys make it work? And he just said, we worked through it, we communicated. And that's when I said, okay, I can do that. I made a mistake. I broke up with her, being prideful. And that's when I changed my mind and I changed my heart.
Wow.
And that's when I decided, okay, if I'm going to ever be in a relationship, it's not going to be perfect. I had this idea of the honeymoon being a lifetime. I had this idea of finding the perfect woman, and I realized that's just not reality. She's perfect to me, but she has flaws, the same way that I do. But when my grandfather talked to me that Christmas Eve, he changed my mind and he said, you have to work at it. It's never going to be easy. When I look at my grandparents, me, my brother, my cousins, we crack up because my grandmother stabbing my grandpa with a fork at the dinner table. You know, saying, be quiet, let me talk. I want to tell the story, you know.
Absolutely.
And people don't realize that's real goals. 62 years married, fighting over what story to tell your grandkids.
Yeah.
That's memories. That's legacy.
And something that you said that was so key, and I'd like for you to just kind of explain this a little bit. You said, I realized I had to change. And I think, especially for women out there, we are trying, and I'll put both hands and feet at. It's hard because you want the man to see, but don't you see? It's it. We're it. We're supposed to be together. So how important or crucial was it for Shemaiah to give you your time and your space to realize it on your own?
That was extremely crucial. The timing of it really was perfect because it was something that I realized I needed the space. I needed to realize it. I needed to have that conversation with my grandpa. And I don't think if I had that conversation with my grandpa, then I probably wouldn't be married today. Prior to Shemaiah, I mean, you could make a movie about me because it was 6 months And after 6 months, I was single.
Oh.
So that was just the extent of my relationships, you know. And then it wasn't, once I knew that I changed my mind and I changed my heart, her heart and her mind was already where it needed to be.
Wow.
Because
So good.
she had already made the commitment to work it out when things get tough.
And Shemaiah, give us the real on being a wife and making that commitment to a man.
Well, I believe that starts when you're single. If you make that commitment in your heart to say, Lord, if you have the desire to be married, it starts when you are a single woman. It starts with walking in your purpose, knowing exactly who you are, because he's just an addition. You know, one of the things I did, one of the mistakes I made was when I got into marriage, you know, I wasn't walking in my purpose, and I was just looking to him to like gratify me, like there's something else. I don't know what it is, but figure it out, do it. And I had to go back to the drawing board and figure out my purpose first. So it starts with being a single woman, knowing your purpose, walking in your purpose, and then just having that commitment in prayer with God. Because once you get in a marriage, it's not just you anymore. You're not just praying for yourself anymore. You're not just looking out for yourself anymore. The enemy wants your husband, and you have to go to war. He wants your husband. No, and it's so crazy because I wasn't even like this as a single woman until I got married. Like, it's so crazy how God will shift your mind. He'll shift your prayer life. Like, he will force you to get reconnected and even deeper with him when it comes to marriage and as a wife. And even as a role, your role as a wife is so much greater than what we think. You know, just being cute or just having a ring or, oh, we had a cute wedding and we're posting pictures. But during those times where you can't absolutely stand him, can you pray for him? Can you still wash his clothes? Can you still cook him dinner?
You can't just leave.
Oh, you can't leave.
It's not like, oh, you know what, I'm actually done with you.
Right.
We're not doing this anymore. I'm going to go. It's like, stay committed in this.
It's submission.
Wow.
And being submitted does not mean I'm a doormat. It does not mean he's walking over me. It's obedience. It's obedience to God. And it's even, and I've learned this, if he's wrong, and I followed him, and I did what I was supposed to do as a wife, I submitted unto God, and he's wrong, God's going to deal with him.
All right.
The blessing is, I still get the blessing for being obedient, for humbling myself, and submitting. I'm still working on this submission thing.
Okay. What is, Jamal, for you, what does submission look like as far as men are concerned? What is that submission where, you know, us ladies, we were playing Beyonce earlier, so.
Ooh.
Choose your words wisely,
Yeah.
sir. Choose them wisely.
So, you know what? Really, all it is understanding how to follow and allow me to lead. Whether that be spiritually,
That's good.
whether that be financially, whether that be physically, you just have to allow me to lead and trust that I have our best interests for this marriage.
Is marriage all about sex? Because, you know, every time that people think about, you know, you picture it, you coming home, ripping each other's clothes off, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, it can be. It can be.
And then some people tell me, like, girl, once you get married, okay, it is the fire is gone, which is why some people choose not to wait to have sex until marriage, because they're like, by the time you get married, and that happens, and it gets boring. Is that really true? Like, what is that?
You have it's work. You have to, when children are added to the equation, it's work. Like we have to like set dates and
listen, you schedule it. All right.
Oh, it's a real schedule type.
I don't care what nobody says. If you don't make time,
okay,
sometimes it just don't happen.
okay.
You get tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We have a 1-year-old daughter. She's busy, as you can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And cute. She's so cute.
Thank you.
Got a picture with her.
You know, so we make sure we set aside that time.
Okay.
And a lot of times it doesn't mean that it's sex. A lot of times it just means it's quality time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes it's walking through the door, ripping each other's clothes off. Sometimes it's, all right, you know, she's asleep. So, she's asleep.
It's time.
It's time.
Well, literally, it's time to wrap up this interview. But before we do, words of wisdom or advice for those that are watching, whether they're married, single, in a relationship, what do you guys have to say to them in all your wisdom, knowledge, and all that?
I would say communicate. Don't compare your relationship to anyone else's marriage. And make sure that you set clear expectations.
So good.
I would just say prayer. Prayer. It's the only thing that'll get you through. It's the only thing that'll help you to be submissive. It's the only thing that'll keep you, what am I trying to say? It's the only thing that'll keep you connected, enduring, and loving.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I love you both.
Thank
Love
you so
you
much.
too.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Just Whitley. This has been an amazing show, and I can't wait for you to watch next week. So make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, share, do whatever you have to do. I want to hear from you. So until next week, talk to you guys later.